Let's get weird into it. Number 12. Wasabi Imposters. You're at a sushi restaurant feeling fancy. You've mastered the chopsticks, you're not drowning your delicate fish in soy sauce, and you're ready for that little kick. You dab a tiny green blob of wasabi onto your roll, pop it in your mouth, and brace for the searing heat that feels like a chemical blowtorch aimed directly at your nasal cavity. It's intense, it's fleeting, and it's a complete and total fraud. That's right. The vast majority of wasabi served outside of Japan, and even a lot of it inside Japan, has never even seen a wasabi plant. What you're actually eating is a clever little paste made of horseradish, mustard powder, and green food coloring. Real wasabi, or Wasabia japonica, is an incredibly difficult plant to cultivate. It's a fickle aquatic root that demands the pristine running water of a mountain stream and a gentle breeze. Like some kind of botanical diva, it's also ridiculously expensive. Your cheap, convenient sushi bar wasabi is just its brutish European cousin, horseradish, dressed up in a green costume. The heat from horseradish comes from a different chemical compound, which is why it hits you hard in the nose and then vanishes. Whereas true wasabi has a more complex, herbal, and slightly sweet heat that lingers on the tongue. So next time you feel that sinus-clearing inferno, just remember you're not experiencing an authentic Japanese delicacy. You're eating spicy, green-dyed mashed root from the same family as broccoli. Bon appetit. Number 11. The banana that never was. Take a moment and think about artificial banana flavor. You know the one. It's in Laffy Taffy, Runts, Circus Peanuts, and that weirdly yellow pudding your grandma used to make. Now, think about a real banana. Notice anything? They taste absolutely nothing alike. One is a bright, chemical, almost floral sweetness, and the other is a soft, starchy, creamy fruit. This isn't just a case of food scientists failing spectacularly at their one job. You're actually tasting a ghost. The artificial banana flavor you know and love, or hate, is based on a chemical compound called isoamyl acetate. And here's the kicker. That chemical is an almost perfect replica of the flavor profile of a type of banana that you've probably never eaten. It was called the Gros Michel, or Big Mike. Up until the 1950s, this was the banana. It was creamier, more flavorful, and had a thicker skin that made it perfect for shipping. Then, a fungal plague called Panama disease swept the globe and wiped the Gros Michel off the face of the commercial market. It was a banana apocalypse. The entire industry had to pivot to a less tasty but more resistant variety. The Cavendish, which is the banana you buy at the grocery store today. So that candy you're eating isn't a bad imitation of a modern banana. It's a perfectly accurate imitation of a banana that's now commercially extinct. You're not eating a fake flavor. You're enjoying a delicious chemical eulogy. Number 10. Cinnamon's dirty little secret. Ah, cinnamon. The official scent of cozy autumn days, holiday baking, and overpriced coffee drinks. You sprinkle it on your oatmeal, stir it into your cider, and feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Well, prepare to have that warm feeling replaced with the cold, hard reality that you've been living a lie. The cinnamon in your pantry is almost certainly an imposter. What you know as cinnamon is most likely cassia, a cheaper, more aggressive cousin from the same family tree. True cinnamon, known as Ceylon cinnamon, is native to Sri Lanka, has a delicate, sweet flavor, and is made from the fragile inner bark of the tree. It's crumbly, light brown, and expensive. Cassia, on the other hand, is mostly grown in China and Indonesia, is reddish-brown, hard as a rock, and has a much harsher, spicier flavor. It's the loud, obnoxious party crasher to Ceylon's sophisticated dinner guest. But here's the disturbing part. Cassia contains high levels of a compound called coumarin. In small doses, it's fine, but in large quantities, it can be toxic to your liver. Some European countries even have legal limits on how much coumarin can be in food products. Meanwhile, you're over here dumping half a shaker of the stuff into your Cinnabon-inspired breakfast smoothie. You're not just using the wrong cinnamon. You're using the one that comes with a built-in warning label. Basically, you're sprinkling a slightly more sophisticated form of wood bark on your latte, and your liver is just quietly hoping you'll switch to nutmeg. Number 9. The pineapple's revenge. Ever eat so much fresh pineapple that your tongue starts to feel weird? A little tingly, a little raw, like you've been chewing on a piece of very fine grit sandpaper. You probably just shrugged it off as acidity or something equally vague. But the truth is far more metal. While you are eating the pineapple is eating you right back. Pineapples are packed with a powerful cocktail of protein-digesting enzymes called bromelain. When you chew a piece of pineapple, these enzymes get to work immediately, breaking down the proteins in your mouth, on your tongue, your cheeks, and the roof of your mouth. That raw, tender feeling is literally the bromelain trying to digest your flesh. It's a chemical defense mechanism designed to stop animals from eating the fruit before its seeds are ready. Your stomach acid neutralizes the enzymes once you swallow, so you're safe from being fully dissolved from the inside out. But for those few moments it's in your mouth, it's a fair fight. You're breaking down its cell walls with your teeth, and it's breaking down your cell walls with its enzymes. It's a tiny, delicious war happening on your taste buds. So the next time you enjoy a slice of this tropical delight, remember the strange, tingling sensation isn't just a flavor. It's the feeling of being actively disassembled by your snack. Number 8. Grape versus grape. There is no flavor disconnect in the universe quite as vast as the one between an actual grape and grape-flavored things. One is a subtle, earthy, sometimes tart fruit. The other is a loud, purple, medicinal sugar punch that assaults your senses. It tastes more like a purple crayon smells than it does any fruit grown on a vine. So what happened here? Why is grape candy such a bizarre caricature? The answer lies with a specific chemical called methyl anthranilate. This is the compound that food scientists identified as the signature grape flavor. But here's the thing. It's primarily found in Concord grapes, not the common green and red table grapes you buy at the store. Concord grapes are the ones used to make grape juice, jellies, and that communion wine that tastes suspiciously like Welch's. They have a very bold, musky flavor profile that's often described as foxy. So when you're eating a grape popsicle, you're not tasting an imitation of a regular grape. You're tasting a highly concentrated, simplified version of a Concord grape. Food companies latched onto this one specific loudmouth grape and made it the ambassador for all grapedom. It's like if aliens landed, met one single guy from New Jersey, and concluded that all of humanity talks with a thick accent and has very strong opinions about pizza. The flavor isn't fake. It's just based on a very specific and very aggressive regional dialect of grape. Number 7. The soap gene. Some arguments have no right answer. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And, most importantly, does cilantro taste like a fresh, vibrant herb, or a mouthful of dirty dish soap? If you fall into the latter camp, you're not just being a picky eater. You're a genetic mutant. Okay, maybe mutant is a strong word, but your DNA is absolutely to blame. For a significant portion of the population, cilantro tastes profoundly, horribly soapy. This is thanks to a variation in a group of olfactory receptor genes, specifically one called OR6A2. This gene is responsible for detecting aldehyde chemicals. Aldehydes are compounds found in both cilantro and, you guessed it, soap. For most people, their brains process the aldehydes in cilantro as a pleasant, citrusy aroma. But if you have this specific genetic variant, your nose is extra sensitive to the unsaturated aldehydes, which it interprets as a soapy, foul, sometimes even metallic flavor. Your brain is essentially getting a crossed wire. It's receiving the fresh herb signal, but it's also getting a screaming red alert that says, "Warning, you are eating a bar of Irish Spring." You can't just learn to like it, because your body is fundamentally convinced you're trying to poison yourself with a cleaning product. So go ahead, tell your friends it's not your fault. Science is on your side. Number 6. Shiny bug varnish. You know that glossy, impossibly smooth coating on jelly beans, candy corn, and certain shiny chocolates? The one that keeps them from sticking together and gives them that appealing, almost plastic-like sheen. You can thank a bug for that. Specifically the female lac bug, native to Thailand and India. This delectable coating is called confectioner's glaze, which sounds innocent enough, but its primary ingredient is shellac. And shellac is the resinous secretion of the lac bug. The insects suck the sap from trees, and then secrete this resin all over the branches to create a protective cocoon for their eggs. To harvest it, workers scrape these resin-covered branches, a process that inevitably collects the bug bits and bark along with it. This raw material, called stick lac, is then processed and purified into the food-grade shellac that ends up on your candy. So, yes, that irresistible shine on your Mike and Ike's is the refined, processed, and sterilized home-building material of a tiny insect. The FDA has deemed it perfectly safe for consumption, but it's hard to shake the mental image. Every time you pop a handful of shiny candy, you're essentially eating a bug's meticulously crafted and later abandoned nursery. It's the circle of life, but with more high-fructose corn syrup. Number 5. Red velvet bugs. If you thought eating bug secretions was weird, get ready to level up. Let's talk about that beautiful, deep red color you see in everything from yogurt and juice to lipstick and, of course, red velvet cake. You might assume it's from beets or some fancy modern dye. Nope. For centuries, one of the most popular red food colorings has been made from crushed-up insects. Meet the cochineal, a tiny scale insect that lives on prickly pear cacti in South and Central America. When you crush these little guys, they produce a vibrant crimson dye known as carminic acid. To make the dye, entire colonies of cochineal are harvested, dried, and then ground into a fine powder. It takes about 70,000 dead insects to produce a single pound of this red dye. This ingredient will appear on labels as carmine, cochineal extract, or natural red 4. It's an incredibly stable and potent dye, which is why it's so popular in the food and cosmetic industries. But it does mean that your strawberry yogurt, your cherry popsicle, and your favorite red lipstick might owe their alluring hue to a veritable graveyard of powdered bugs. It's all natural, sure, but it's the kind of natural that involves sweeping thousands of tiny corpses into a pile and pulverizing them. Suddenly, artificial coloring doesn't sound so bad, does it? Number 4. Beaver butt vanilla. This is the holy grail of disturbing food facts, the one you've been waiting for. Let's talk about vanilla, a lovely, warm, comforting flavor. It's in ice cream, cookies, and scented candles that make your house smell like a baked goods paradise. It can also, in some very rare cases, come from a beaver's butt. Let me be more specific. It comes from a beaver's castor sacs, which are located between the pelvis and the base of the tail, right next to the anal glands. These sacs produce a thick, gooey substance called castoreum. Beavers use this pungent secretion along with their urine to mark their territory. It has a surprisingly pleasant, musky, vanilla-like scent, thanks to the beaver's diet of bark and leaves. For decades, food scientists have used castoreum as a natural flavoring in foods and perfumes. Now, before you swear off vanilla ice cream forever, you should know that using castoreum in food today is exceedingly rare. The process of milking a beaver's glands is difficult and expensive. It's far cheaper to use synthetic vanillin or extract from actual vanilla beans. But for a long time, and still technically on the books as an FDA-approved natural flavor, the secret ingredient for that vanilla or raspberry note could have been the glandular goo from a rodent's nether regions. It's the ultimate proof that natural doesn't always mean wholesome. Sometimes it just means beaver butt. Number 3. The hair in your bread. Okay, deep breath. This one might ruin baked goods for you. Think about that soft, pillowy loaf of commercial bread, or those delicious bagels and donuts. Part of what gives them that perfect texture and long shelf life is an amino acid called L-cysteine. It's used as a dough conditioner, helping to speed up processing time and soften the final product. A very useful little molecule. So where do we get it? Historically, and still in many places today, the most abundant and cheapest source of L-cysteine is human hair. Yes, human hair. It's gathered from the floors of barbershops and hair salons, primarily in China, then dissolved in acid to extract the L-cysteine. Duck feathers are another common source. Your body can't tell the difference, of course. An amino acid is an amino acid, regardless of whether it came from a feather, a wheat stalk, or a stranger's haircut. And thankfully, many manufacturers in the US and Europe have switched to synthetic or microbial fermentation methods. But because labeling laws can be fuzzy, it's not always clear where the L-cysteine in your food comes from. There's a non-zero chance that the secret to your perfectly fluffy morning croissant is a chemical component extracted from boiled human hair. It's completely sterile, completely safe, and completely, utterly horrifying to think about. Your bagel might just be a little bit more human than you thought. Number 2. The Great Truffle Swindle. You see it on a menu and your eyes light up. Truffle fries. Truffle mac and cheese. Truffle oil drizzled over a bed of something else fancy. It feels like the height of luxury, an affordable way to taste one of the world's most prized culinary ingredients. Well, I'm sorry to inform you that you've been scammed. Your truffle oil has likely never been within 100 miles of an actual truffle. Real truffles are outrageously expensive because they're rare fungi that have to be hunted by trained dogs or pigs. The idea of infusing their delicate, earthy aroma into oil is a nice one, but the compounds that give truffles their signature scent are incredibly volatile. They break down almost immediately. So, what is that pungent, overwhelming smell in your truffle oil? It's a synthetic chemical. The vast majority of truffle oil on the market is just regular olive oil, mixed with a lab-created aromatic compound called 2,4-dithiapentane. It's one of the key odor molecules found in real truffles, but it's isolated and cranked up to 11. That's why many chefs hate the stuff. It's a one-note, clunky imposter that bulldozes over all other flavors. It's the culinary equivalent of a guy wearing a t-shirt that says, "I am fancy." You're not paying for a rare, foraged delicacy. You're paying for cheap oil and a shot of petroleum-based perfume. Number 1. The natural flavor loophole. We've talked about bugs, beavers, and human hair. But the most disturbing truth about the flavors you know is the one you see on almost every single processed food label in your kitchen. Natural flavors. It sounds so reassuring, doesn't it? Natural. It conjures images of fruits being gently squeezed and herbs being plucked from a sun-drenched garden. The reality is a legal and scientific gray area so vast it could swallow a cow. According to the FDA, a natural flavor is anything derived from a spice, fruit or fruit juice, vegetable or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herb, bark, bud, root, leaf, or similar plant material, meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy products, or fermentation products thereof. The key word here is derived. This doesn't mean they just crush up a strawberry and put it in your yogurt. It means they can take that strawberry, put it in a lab, and use enzymes or solvents to extract a single flavor chemical. Then they can modify it, enhance it, and mix it with up to 100 different incidental additives, like preservatives and emulsifiers, and still call the entire concoction a single, natural flavor. That beaver butt castoreum? It can be listed as a natural flavor. The bug-based carmine? Natural. The list of what's allowed is mind-boggling, and food companies have zero obligation to tell you what's actually in their proprietary blend. It's a black box of flavor chemistry, designed to make cheap ingredients taste irresistible. So the next time you see natural flavors on a label, don't picture a farmer's market. Picture a laboratory, a team of scientists, and a whole lot of things they'd rather you not think about. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.